So hi students, we are going to start the second topic in section B of part 1, which is budgeting concepts. So in the last presentation, we talked about a strategic plan, and we said that this is the long-term plan and that won't mention the details about the plan. It is going to be an overview of the plan, what is expected to be done. Only that will be done in strategic planning. But now we are going to study budgeting. Okay, and in budgeting we will have actually two presentations. This presentation will talk about the concepts of budgeting, and the next presentation we will be covering will be covering the methodologies of budgeting. Okay, so let's jump in. So first of all, what is budgeting? A budgeting is a quantitative or numerical expression of company's plans and objective. So in the previous presentation, we talked about plans and objective, and a budget is going to be numerical expression of that plans. It is going to be a detailed plan, and that's also in numbers. So this will specify how organization is going to acquire the resources during a particular period of time. So it's a detailed plan. We have an example here. Suppose a company aims to increase its revenue by 10% in the next fiscal year. So this is what the plan is. We need to increase the revenue by 10%. So your budget would include what? The detailed projection of sales, how this is going to happen, what departments or which product is going to achieve or going to help to achieve this 10% increase, the complete details, and how much we have to spend on marketing to achieve this target, and how much human resource we need to allocate to achieve this target. All the details will be there in the budgeting. So from here onwards, like coming 5-6 slides, we are going to talk about benefits of budgeting. So what are the benefits to the organization if we have a budget in that organization? The first one is efficient resource allocation. Budget help allocate resources effectively by identifying financial requirements for various activities and departments within the organization. So every department in the organization or each and every activities, what resources they required, and the details will be there in the budget, and how we are going to allocate these resources to various activities efficiently. That can be possible when you have a budget for each and everything. For example, if a company plans to launch a new product, the budget will allocate to funds for product development, marketing, and distribution. Because your budget is what? Sorry, your plan is what? I want to launch a new product. And based on that, you will allocate the budget for the product development and how you are going to market this new product and how you are going to distribute this product. So this ensures that resources are allocated where they are needed most. So now where we have to concentrate, we are launching a product, so we have to allocate our resources to make this product successful. So that is possible when you have a clear plan or budget for each and every departments and activities in the organization. And budget, another advantage is that it is considered as a planning tool. So we know that budget is a written plan for the future for 1 year. A firm that has no goals may not always make better decisions. So imagine your company doesn't have any goal. So you won't end up in better decisions. But a firm with a goal in the form of a budget will will be able to plan what is going to happen. The companies that prepare budgets anticipate problems before they occur. So you'll be planning for your best scenario that may happen in future and also the worst scenario. So if you know there are something going to be wrong and you made a proactive plan for that something that may go wrong, then you will not have operational surprises. Okay, so that's a benefit of planning. You will avoid the surprises. Here we have an example. If a company runs out of critical raw material, you don't have enough material, then what we have to do, maybe it has to shut down, or it will incur high cost. Why? Because now you have to bring those material through flight. So you maybe your freight cost may increase to get the delivery of the needed materials. But if you had a plan, you know how much material I need, and you will order this material from the beginning itself. So you will not have this surprise again. So the company with budget will have anticipated the shortage, because as per the budget, I will have more sales in the quarter three. Considering different factors, we prepared a budget, and based on that we will plan for our material, so you will not have any surprise. You will have enough material by the time of that contingency. So we can consider budget is a planning tool. So you will have a plan for the future, and budget is a control tool. This is another advantage. How it is a control tool? Because budget is act as a benchmark for the performance measurement. So every department, for example, you have department A, and there is a benchmark uh, of performance for that department, that it has to sell 1 million units. That's the benchmark. It is decided when the period is starting. Now the management will start comparing what is happening actually with the budget, because you have a budget of 1 million units, and you will find out the variations. We sold only 750,000 unit, so 250,000 less you sold. Why? What happened? If anything is there that need to be corrected to achieve your target, you will do some corrective actions based on that. Okay, so budget is a control tool. If the budget sets a target for monthly expenses, so you have a target for monthly expenses, for example 100,000. So you are regularly monitoring these actual expenses, how much you are spending with what, with a budget of 100,000. So when you are about to overspend, that will give you a caution. Okay, I am going above the budget, so I have to reduce cost somewhere. So that is possible when you have a budget. You have a marketing budget of 1 million. So now already I reach 800,000. So now I have only 200,000 to spend. So this thought will be there with the marketing manager. So he will try to control his expenses for the marketing which is needed really urgent. A manager is less likely to spend money for things that are not needed if he knows that all costs will be compared with the budget. A manager know that whatever I am spending is going to compare with the budget which they prepared in the beginning. and I'm accountable, I'm responsible for this. So I have to control the cost. So that's why we said again, budget is a control tool. And budget can also reveal progress of highly effective managers because of this control mechanism. A sales manager is supposed to sell 500,000 unit, but he's selling 600,000 unit. Whereas another sales manager is selling only 300,000 units. So we can use budget as a control tool by comparing your actual performance with the budgeted benchmarking. Also, managers can use the budget as a personal self-evaluation tool. So they can compare their performance with the budget, and they can consider this as a personal tool. And again, it is a motivational tool. Budget is a motivational tool. So budgets can motivate employees by providing clear targets, goals, and they also establish accountability for achieving those targets. So the sales manager, Mr. X, is accountable to establish a target of 1 million units. Or an example, a department manager responsible for controlling cost will be motivated to stay within budgeted expense limits. So he always have the budgeted amount back of his mind. So always he is motivated to control the cost where he can reduce the cost. The budget sets expectations and holds individual accountable. And now this manager is accountable. That is why he is worried about cost is going up. Especially employees are motivated when they help prepare the budget. So they were involved in preparing the budget. Because of that, they will be motivated, or they will be more concentrating on keeping the budget or keeping the expenses within the budget, because they said this is going to be the expense, and they will try to keep whatever they said in the past as a true thing. Now, budget is a communication tool. So budget actually communicating short-term objectives to different departments. So this communication is happening throughout the departments and different levels of management. What is the short-term objective of the company? And based on that, they can foster a coordination and alignment. For example, if you know how many units need to be produced during the period, for example, 1 million units need to be produced during the period. So this information will be passed to the production manager, that he has to make sure that all the finished goods needed to meet the demand should be there. So there is a communication happening from sales department, it is going to production department. This is the budget of this year for the sale. So you have to make sure that this many units are there. So this communication is happening between all the departments. Now the production department manager, he will check how much material he have and what material is not there. So he will coordinate that with the purchasing department. And purchasing department may coordinate with the treasury department to make sure that they have enough money. So everything is communicated properly, and all the departments are coordinated when you have a budget. So if the firm does not have an overall budget, each department might think the firm has different goals. If you don't have an overall budget, maybe each department may think they have different goals. An example is like sales department may want keeps as much as inventory. Sales manager always want to keep all the goods in the organization at its maximum level. Why? Because he want to sell it off. He is not bothered about what treasury is doing or how much cash flow we have. He's only concentrating on what he want to sell. So he need to keep as many inventory as possible. But a treasurer may want to keep inventory as low as possible. Why? He want to conserve the cash. So if the budget specify the amount of inventory, all employees can work towards same objective, because sales manager know what is the unit need to be purchased, and even the treasurer know how much he has to spend for those units. So they will not work based on their preferences, because there is a budget and that budget is being communicated between all the departments. And it is a benchmark of performance. Budget serves as a benchmark against which actual performance is measured. So what is actually happening, that will be compared always with the budget. They provide a predetermined standard of evaluating how well organization is progressing toward established goals. So how good company is doing compared to the performance to the budget. Example, if sales budget sets a target of $1 million in monthly revenue, actual sales is only 900,000. This would indicate that that need analysis and attention, because you are low in your actual sales by 100,000. So why that happened and what can be done to improve that? So that can be monitored if you have a budget. And budget will enable you to do a variance analysis. That is what we just discussed about. Why budget and actual numbers, budgeted and actual numbers are different. What are the reasons? So when you started going behind the reasons, the management, they are going to identify the problems, the areas of strength and weakness in the organization. So that can be find out. So if the production budget estimates, this is an example, a cost of 10,000. The production budget is 10,000 for raw materials, but the actual cost is 12,000. Your budget was 10,000, now actually is 12,000. So you have to do an analysis, an investigation, why the cost is high. There is a difference of $2,000. So this variance analysis is possible when you have a standard or you have a budget. And by doing this variance analysis, you will be able to foster a continuous improvement in your organization. So performance measurement through budget enables continuous improvement cycle. So what you are getting some insights from where? From variance analysis. So you can use this information to refine future budgets and enhance the organization ability to meet the goals more effectively. So you found that there is some problem because there is variance, and you start finding out the reason behind the variances, and you found there are some problem and you will try to improve it. So this back and forth improvements are happening throughout the organization, and that is going to end up in continuous improvement in the organization. So you can see if the budget for customer satisfaction score falls short. So you have a budget for customer satisfaction score. So organization might identify areas of improvement such as additional training for customer service to enhance the performance in the next budget period. So your budget is actually helping to have a continuous improvement scenario in your organization. And this will help a decision making support. Again, you are assessing performance against budgeted goals. Management can make informed decision to reallocate resources. So you are getting some information. Based on that information, the management can make better decision, reallocate the resources. Maybe you are spending a lot on product A in terms of labor. So now product B is more profitable and it is in more demand. So allocate the resources for for product B rather than product A, or revise company strategies, or implement changes to address the performance gaps. So you can implement some changes. If the actual marketing expenses, this is the example, these are significantly lower than budgeted. So you spend on marketing, but that's much lower than budget. So management might decide to reallocate the surplus funds to different marketing channel to maximize impact. So we didn't spend much till now on marketing expenses. Still, you know, budget budgeted amount is there. So you can use that amount for a different type of marketing channel. So actually, budget is helping you to support your decision. And obviously, as we discussed, employee accountability and recognition. So budget create framework for holding the employees accountable. They are responsible for uh, certain activities. And also, it will provide a basis of recognizing and rewarding achievements. So when a sales manager, if the department exceeds its sale targets as per the sales budget, employees may be recognized for their efforts. So even this rewarding or recognizing the effort of the employees are possible when you have a budget. And strategic alignment. Budgets help align organizations' financial activities within its overall strategic goals and objective. We learned that before. Budgets are made based on the strategic plan of the company. So if the company's strategic goal, for example, is to expand its market share, the budget may allocate funds for aggressive marketing campaigns or product promotions to support the strategic initiative, because that is what your strategic goal is. So your budget will help the company to move in line with the strategic goal. So that are the benefits of budgeting. Now this is another LOS that we can see in this topic: interrelationship between economic conditions and budget. So what is the relationship normally we can find between economy and the budget? So what are involved in economic conditions? Inflation, interest rates, unemployment levels, or the overall economic growth. All these are factors related to economic condition. And this is closely related to your budget also. You can see an example. In times of economic downturn, consumer spending may decrease. So people doesn't have money, affecting firms' revenue. So your revenue will reduce. This may lead to adjustments in the budget, such as cost cutting measures or revised revenue projections. You may have to revise the revenue based on what is happening in the market. Now, interrelationship between industry and budget. So industry situation refer to specific conditions and dynamics within the sector in which firm operates. So what is the dynamics in which this company is operating? So this industry landscape influences market demand, what is the competition, regulatory factors. So all these we have to consider, or we can say all these are interrelated to the budget. We have an example. If a new competitor enters the market, a firm may need to allocate additional resources to marketing or innovation to maintain its competitive edge, impacting the budget allocation. So now a new competitor is entering into this market. So you have to improve your marketing, or you have to uh, improve the features in your product. So all this will involve money. So your budget you will change based on the industry situation. But this is going to be dynamic. The interrelationship between industry and the economy is going to be dynamic, necessitating adjustments to the firm's plans and budgets to remain resilient and responsive. An example, a sudden change in interest rates that is going to impact your borrowing cost. Maybe your borrowing cost is going to increase. Your bank, the interest what you have to pay to the bank is going to increase. So this will prompt a revision of firm's financial plans. Maybe they have to revise the plan, what need to be done. Interest rate is increasing. So rather than issuing or rather than taking loan, can we go for issuing stocks? So all these things you can think when there is some economic changes in the market. So these are the advantages of budgets in summary. So you can see the wording: coordination, communication, measuring performance, motivation for managers, efficient allocation of resources, controlling. So this is in a single slide as summary of what we discussed in the previous slides. Now, characteristics of a successful budgeting. The budgeting process must start with company's plans. This is one of the important characteristics of a successful budget. It should start with company's plan, whether it is short term or long term. And budget needs management support at all levels. If you have a budget and management is not bothered about your budget, then there is no use of preparing the budget, because you won't be able to control the expenses based on the budget, because management is not bothered about it. And another thing, who will prepare the budget? People who are responsible for delivering the budget must have input into the development of the budget. This will give them a sense of ownership over the budget. The people, they are more related to the production process. They know what exactly happening in the factory. They know where they can control the cost. They know where they cannot control the cost. And based on this information, they will give input to prepare the budget. Then that budget is going to be more realistic and achievable. And budget should be seen as motivational. You cannot have an utopian numbers in your budget. It should not be easy also, but it should looks motivational. I can easily reach 1 million. So that is not so motivational for me. But the budget is telling, no, you have to reach 1.3 million, but not 2.3. And budget should be an accurate representation of what is expected to occur as much as possible. And the budget should be flexible to allow for changes in business environment during the year. So the assumptions on which you have prepared the budget has changed. after 6 months. So you should be able to make needed changes based on the market change. That is what here budget should not be rigid, it has to be flexible. And budget need to be coordinated among all departments and divisions of the company. That means the budget need to be properly communicated. And also the time period included in the budget should match the purpose of the budget. So this is the characteristics of a successful budgeting. So we will stop this presentation now, and we will start rest of the topics in the next presentation. Okay, so thanks a lot for watching me till this. Thanks a lot for being with me. See you in the next presentation. Thank you. Thanks a lot.